I went to the sawmill. I met this guy. He actually told me that, because I was looking for I was looking for hickory or cherry woods or apple woods. He said he does not have any at the moment. The only piece of cherry wood he has, he's willing to give me part of it because he's going to use the rest in his sawmill. So here you can see him moving the log with the bobcats. Asked me if I'm going to use my noise reduction ear, what's it called? Ear protection for safety reason. I said, of course, because I had them. I had a pair in my pocket. I asked him if he need. He said no, he have his own. He does usually carry them. And then here you can see him measuring and marking where he want me. Here at this moment, I just bring my chainsaw and just start cutting. I'm just cutting, chopping into pieces, maybe like 20 inches or 18 inches. So convenient pieces for me to chop for my log splitter. I mean, I got this. The only reason I got different type of wood, because I want to see. I want to test my log splitter and see if there's any differences between chopping different hardwood or cherry wood or pine versus oak and hickory. So I got those pieces. And I will speed up the video, and then here you see me loading into my truck. I load them piece by piece, and I'm using a small axe to chop whatever left. And then I found an ad on Marketplace for someone that has hickory. So I, reached out to him. I said, I can come pick up. I need to take logs. I prefer logs. He's like, yeah, I have logs and I have pieces, so that's fine. So I went and picked up the logs, and you can see you have hickory here, and you have them under tarp, some of them under tarp. And I said, why are you putting them under tarp? And, they look like kind of funny because they have some kind of holes. I'm going, I'm blurring out his face because I don't want to, show people's face. Like, he filled the rest of my truck. He only take like $75, which is really nothing. And he gave me those large piece of logs, which is definitely later you could see me. So here we just like loading the truck. I will speed it up. Finally back to my place, and here I'm uploaded. So I have like 4 different type of wood here. I have my old oak pieces, then I have a pine, that's a piece of cherry wood, and that's a piece of hickory. Okay, so don't drop me, please. And then after that, you have to trust people, because honestly, I don't know if it was hickory or not, but like, yes, of course, hickory. After I cut it off, and the bark looking a bit different, maybe because it dried out, but you see it different completely from the other wood. And then I started my log splitter that I got on Amazon, which is basically I got on Black Friday, which wasn't very expensive, like $600 considering. So I start with the pine, my favorite in log splitter. So this is a pine. So next up, I'm picking the cherry wood. Now you can see I'm pushing it quickly. It's not very heavy, so it's okay. It looks a little orangey at the beginning. That's just how cherry wood is. And then here we go. This is the hickory. You can see the hickory splits very easily, no problem here. I tried splitting into smaller pieces because I want it to dry faster, so I can enjoy it. And you'll notice some of the hickory has these little holes, maybe from insects. Just something to know. Now back to the oak. The oak splits very easily as well. The only thing about this machine is that it's small enough to fit in my backyard, so it doesn't have as much force as a bigger machine would. But it works well enough. You can see me splitting the hickory here, the rest of it, and all split. Love the aroma of burning fresh pine on the embers, and as you can see, it splits super easily. I just cut it in half and then into quarters. The only little hiccup I've got with the splitter is that the push cylinder doesn't go all the way through. I think that's just the nature of the price range. Usually for hardwoods like oak, you don't need to push it all the way. But for greenwood or fresh pine, the fibers hang on, so I just put an extra piece of wood behind it to push it that last bit. Then you'll see me splitting the hickory. I had to use my little pocket axe for some stubborn fibers. As for the log splitter, it's a super handy 20-ton model. I got it on November 29th, put it together pretty easily, but they never mentioned how much hydraulic fluid it needed. I started with 1.6 gallons, and the piston struggled until I upped it to 2.1 gallons, and then it worked perfectly. One other thing is that the splitter is really low to the grind. That's good for not having to lift heavy logs too high, but if you're tall, it's a bit awkward to work with. Thought about raising it on blacks, but that's not stable. I chose this machine because it's compact and powerful.
going to give you back pain. So, but if you raise it, put it on some kind of structure, then you have to raise the whole heavy log to higher structure, and then your risk of this falling when you lower them. And I have steel boots, steel toe boots or shoes, but it is what it is. So I will try to put some stuff underneath.
finally, you'll see the extras that came with the Hickory, a little protein surprise in there, haha. Some logs were fine, others I had to burn right away to avoid any bugs spreading to my woodpile. Oh, and about the GoPro, I'm disappointed. They overheat quickly and each version is a hassle. Plus the mic quality is so bad, you have to record audio separately and sync it in Final Cut Pro. And one more thing about the GoPro situations, the 11, 12, 13, and even the 9, and each one has its own battery type. They heat up quickly, you can't even get through a full recording sometimes, and you have to juggle multiple cameras and external chargers. It's definitely a bit of a hassle. And finally, for everyone watching, thanks so much for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel and check out the rest of the videos. I really appreciate your support.